Good afternoon, guys. How are you today? How are you? Do we have entrepreneur in the room? Do we have would-be entrepreneur in the room? Right? Because I'd like to hear from you. Because today I want to talk to you, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you want to be an entrepreneur, and more especially if you want to be an entrepreneur in the green industry. It doesn't matter as also. You could be an entrepreneur in another space, but you also want to enter. So in which case, obviously, I'll be very happy to talk to you. And I want to talk to you. Yes, definitely want to talk to you. Because I want to share my experience, right? Because I think you all know, or you should know by now, that I run renewables in Africa, and it has been a tremendous journey, but one that has been filled with a lot of challenge that I had to tackle. And today, I want to talk to you about the three main challenges that I've seen so far, and I wanted to share that with you. So, if that's okay with you, I invite you to stay tuned because we're gonna obviously have a very important conversation. And as usual, I'm hoping that you're gonna be asking loads and loads and loads and loads of questions. See you soon. Okay, hello back, guys. So this is Tony Two here. So we're talking to you. And today, I want to talk about something quite interesting, especially if you are an entrepreneur. But before I dive into that, let me introduce myself. So if you're new into this channel, so my name is Tony Chiu. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Renewables in Africa, right? The name is quite simple. See what it does on the tin, right? And this channel, the whole idea is to demystify the renewable energy sector for you. So that if you tell me that you are new into the sector, but you have lots and lots of money, you don't know where to invest it, don't worry. In here, you'll find all the information that you need, and I'm sure it's going to guide you as to where you can put your money. Or you can tell me that, oh, listen, Tony, so I run a business, right? And it's time for me to make sure that I can decarbonize my operations. But I don't know what to do. Do not worry. Like I say, so I have a lot of insight that I can share with you. I even have, like I say, one very quick guide that I can send to you. I'm going to put that in the link somewhere where you can download it and it gives you already very quick, 9 tips as to how you can actually start your green journey today, right? Today. So, and last but not the least, if you're telling me that you are a professional, you don't know how to jump into the sector, again, we have a call that can talk to you, and then we can definitely address that. But already, for free, you look at the videos here, you find something that will be of interest for you. So, my question for you: are you ready now to sign up to our channel? If you're ready, then let's prove it to yourself. Just sign up immediately. So you haven't done it so. And also leave us a comment because we like to have your comment. We like to know what you are thinking. And then I also share this video with other people, right? So that'd be good. Now, what is the reason I'm doing this video today, right? So I was just thinking about what can I talk to people today? So what am I going to say? There's so many things that one can discuss, but what can really speak to people? Then I say, okay, let's actually keep it really to the basics. Why? Because I know a lot of you will want to become entrepreneur into the space, and in fact, I encourage a lot of you to become entrepreneur into this space. But I also know that becoming an entrepreneur in this space, it's not at all an easy journey. Clearly, not an easy journey. So you need to know what you are doing to some extent, or you need to find out very quickly what you are doing wrong so that you know how you can correct it. And that's why today I thought, okay, so let me do it. So let me actually share some of the challenges that I faced, as I was developing, and I'm still developing renewables in Africa, so that you can learn from it and you can see what you can do to avoid it. Because my idea and my hope is that by me sharing that, yeah, so you'll be able to learn from it, and not only to learn from it, to make sure that you can go better, faster, and quicker than me, right? So that's the worst thing I can I can wish for you. I'm sure you would agree with me, correct? Excellent. That's fine. So let's just talk into that. And as I'm talking, so feel free to drop a comment, to drop a message, to ask questions, and I'd be more than happy to do it. Because today is a little bit more like a free flow information. I'm sharing that with you. Those main challenges that I dealt with, and explain to you obviously how obviously I was able to find a solution. And as I say, maybe this could be an inspiration for you if you're ready in the in the business. So essentially, uh, when I decided that I wanted to start the business, and then this start the business, I think some of you that have been listening to me for some time, following what I say, they will know that once I made the decision, so I made an important trip, and that trip was actually back in Botswana. Why in Botswana? Simply because I have one of my best friend that who happens to be also one of my mentor, right? So I talked to him and say, hey, what do you think about that, Lerine? What do you think about that? So I spent the whole journey there. I spent about a week there. It was a lot of reflection that I had, discussions, and also me sitting in front seat and seeing him running his business, because I have to say he's also running a business. So I was able to learn and pick up a lot of things for him. So once I've decided now to open my business and run it, so I was thinking, right? So what I would do, I will actually focus on one country alone, right? First, I want to learn the trick. I want to make all the mistakes there. And after when I finish, then I can go and attack other markets that are a lot more interesting, right? And I'm sure a lot of you would think this way. And that's probably the business school way, right? So the good way. So I decided to actually look at Botswana. Why Botswana? It's a small country in population, but not in size. I'm sure you know that. Yeah, in population, barely 2 million people. So I was thinking, and good population, but it's also well-run country. I would say, and there I should be able to learn the game very quickly. It's a small country, it's a well-run country, and I'm sure that if I can get things right there, I have a good chance to get things right there and then move into other countries and being able to replicate that at bigger scale. But by then I'll have experience, and because I have this experience now, I could better approach some of the mistakes. That's what I was thinking, right? So this is where the reality actually come back to bite you big time, right? And this is where also you realize that there is definitely a big difference between what you have in the books and what you see in the reality. So the reality is yes. So Botswana is a superb country that I love for sure. And it's a country definitely is well run, definitely smaller in population. But what I found out there is, although it had all this quality, it was still not for me fast enough for me to be able to generate revenue that I needed for me to live, for the business to live, right? Even that small country. And also, I guess as well, probably I was a little bit early in the conversation in terms of renewables energy, instead of renewable energy solution, clean energy solutions. So, as you know, education is a big part of this industry. So it was very challenging. So I couldn't make the revenue. So that's the big challenge that I faced. So I was okay, here I am. And at the time, I have to also specify, I was working purely and simply as a energy consultant. So which is basically I will reach out to company, talk to them about how they can develop clean energy solutions for them, right? To tackle some of the power supply challenges, which were already. So in the case of Botswana, it will not be the power outages. It will be probably power that was not maybe that could be cheaper if they're using renewables energy. And even then, it was not as certain, because I'm sure you know that's a country with lots of coal, yeah, coal resources, and electricity tariff happened to be definitely quite low. Probably one of the challenges that I had, right? So clearly, I could not generate a lot of money. So it actually led me to think, actually, yes, theoretically what you're saying is right here, but clearly you're struggling to make the money. And for me, I clearly always wanted to be a business, not a charity, right? Nothing, I have nothing against charity, but it's just the choice that I made. So I understood that if I wanted to, let's say, multiply the chance of me having a business, then I decided I had to attack many countries at the same time, because my reasoning, right, my logic was, I don't think all the country would be very slow at the same time. That's what I was thinking. So I made a kind of analysis, right? Say that, hey, probably not be as slow as us. Yeah, it clearly wouldn't be so slow at the same time, or maybe slow at the same pace, if I can say that this way. So I made that judgment. So that's why I ended up having to approach multiple countries at the same time. This is where already you see you're going against what you would see in the book, where it say stay in one country, stay in one lane, and you obviously keep on digging in. Yeah. And I'm sure some people will still advise against it. But at least for me, especially in the case of Africa, because I wanted to do a business in Africa with Africa. So yeah, I find it challenging. So I ended up, right, so tapping into many countries at the same time. This is where the second challenge came in. So the second challenge came in whereby, okay, here I am now. So approaching many countries at the same time, right? And then not sure exactly where I should be going. And also realizing that, okay, yes, although I was doing many travels, I was attending many conferences. So I very quickly realized that, listen, the other problem that you have here, right, is you can't be at all those places all at the same time. Clearly, you just can't. So how can you do that? You say you want to tap into this market, you're spending time to fly here, to fly there, talking to people, and even if you're there, you're not there on a constant basis. So that was also another big problem I have. So it makes it quite difficult to generate some revenue. But I have to say, the positive thing is by obviously tapping into many countries at the same time. Obviously, as you can imagine. So obviously using a little bit of creativity. So you have already a lot. I had already a lot more opportunity to look at, right? Which already was a little bit reassuring for me just to know that, yeah, just by deciding to go multiple countries, right, at least I can uh, tackle the issue of not having enough opportunity for me to look at, right? But now the second challenge became, how can I make sure that I could be present at the same time, while I can get people to think about me in this country pretty much at the same time, why I can only be in one country at a time. This is where the second idea came in. And that second idea, so like I say, you need to give credit where credit is due. So I was talking to my wife, had a discussion. This is where we had the idea of creating renewables in Africa. Because the other thing that we realized was that, listen, so at the time, right? So, and I say when I say at the time like that, you may have the impression that I was talking about 20 years ago. No, it wasn't that much. We were talking about 6, 7 years ago. Not 6 years, yeah, at most, yeah. So we realized that people didn't have a good proper understanding of renewables energy, clean energy, and even up until today, as you can see, there's a big part of education that needs to happen, and that's why I'm enjoying having this conversation with you, and also I'm enjoying having your questions. So that's for me an opportunity to say, if you have any question, please ask your question. Yeah, it's always a pleasure for me to respond to that. So don't just watch in silence. Make sure that if you have something you want to ask me, you ask me and I respond to that, right? And I'll always respond to every question, even if it's not live. I can come back and respond to it. So back to the story. So I realized that people had a lot of, let's say, gap in terms of their understanding of how the industry was working. And at the same time, I also realized that, hey, it's difficult for me to be many places at the same time. It's virtually impossible unless I can multiply myself. And I've not yet found a solution for that. So if you have the solution like that, please let me know, right? If I can have a hologram where as I'm talking to you there, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, right? But yeah, you know what I mean. So that's how the second idea of creating renewables in Africa came in. So we started renewables in Africa initially as a blog where I was simply sort of putting out there some interesting thought leadership article, right, about what I was thinking, my observation about what the sector was all about, and sharing that with people, and also some uh yeah, some insight that I've gathered and knowledge that I've gathered, right? Because by then, as you'd imagine, as I started projecting and promoting myself as a professional into the sector, I would have gone through a number of courses, right? I would have attended a number of conferences, talking to a lot of people. So I continue to so I was yeah, I was looking at giving those kind of insights. I created Renewables in Africa as a blog, and to my surprise, actually, they actually picked up quite well, and people received that very well, right? So definitely by using the internet, yeah. So by the time I have to say this is was before COVID, as you can imagine, right? So I tap into that, and it allow me to speak to many people at the same time and be present to many places at the same time. And this is what I've continued up until today, and this is what I really enjoy, right? So in the job that I've given myself. So that was the second tough challenge that I found out. So how can I be present in many places at the same time and talking to the market, to the industry at the same time, and hopefully as well gaining some customer at the same time. So obviously having that presence was really great, and I did that almost intuitively because at the time I didn't have yet, because between that time and now, I can tell you. So obviously, I've gone through a lot of let's say personal development courses. I've talked to a lot of gurus out there, worked with a lot of them. So clearly, I have a lot more knowledge that I used to have. But at the time, almost intuitively, and also with that good conversation that I have, my wife, bless her. So I thought about having renewables in Africa. That I launched it and I started obviously broadcasting it. And ours, the response actually was good. So I evolved it into what it is right now, which is a virtual multimedia platform where we're doing multiple things, right? Where we're doing articles, where we're doing workshop, where we're doing webinars, seminars, right? And where we are attending as well to conferences, and where we're also broadcasting video and we're engaging with you and we enjoy it. I again want to say that. By the way, so are you liking what I'm saying? So if you like what I'm saying, please drop a message, right? So I want to at least see that. See that you're following me. I can see there's a couple of people that definitely following me. Thank you for that. Thank you for taking your time. I know I have not given enough notice as to what I was going to talk about today. But my apologies. I get caught up into meetings, but I did not want to miss our rendezvous, right? And I still want to make sure that I can share something that could be seen as valuable for you. So this is actually what I did. So creating renewables in Africa, evolving into a multiple in a media, a virtual media platform, allow me to engage with many people at the same time, and which is actually great. And Kerry has become an asset for the company. Now, this moves me now into the third challenge that I want to talk to today. There are many challenges, I'm sure you would imagine, that I've gone through. I can't just talk to every single one of them, but I can at least highlight a few that I deem are important, and that's what I've done here. So I've talked about so far. If you are just joining the conversation right now, I talked about the fact that I moved from just being operational in one country, because at the time that was the best thing for me to do, to learn the game, to very quickly having to move into a multiple country that I was approaching at the same time, to give me the opportunity to have, let's say, more leads, just as simple as that, right? And better probability and closing some of this deal. And then the second challenge that I found out is, how can I be present in all these countries at the same time, right? So it was a little bit difficult. So then that's where I thought about technology, internet, right? So using that, first of all, creating a blog responding well. So evolving that into virtual media platform. So what I'm saying is, actually, if you new out there into the industry, this can hopefully inspire you into what you may want to do. You can either follow the exact same step that I've done, or you can do something similar, right? So I've already worked with at least a couple of other entrepreneurs. That's kind of, I would say, use my example but creating their own, right? So that's what I have to say. So this could be quite useful to you. So the third challenge that I want to mention, which is this has been let's say relatively recent, was the fact that, yes, so I managed to find a way to generate revenue, but now it's a question of how now do I grow this revenue, so that obviously I can now start employing people, because obviously I can imagine when I started working, I was on my own, right? I was on my own, working, doing everything at the same time, and it was stressful. Yeah, I know I'm a hard worker still, right? There's so many things. So obviously, when you come to run a business, you realize there's so many facets of business that you need to look at, right? You need to understand finance, you need to understand the legal aspect, you need to understand the operational. So you need to understand, you need to also manage different suppliers. It's a lot that you need to tackle, and you need to be good at strategy, right? So and you need to work on the business, not just in the business. So there's so many things that need to happen there. So, but for you to get the help that you need to start hiring people, even if on a temporary basis, you need to generate enough revenue for that. And I wasn't generating enough revenue, right? So I had to revise a lot my business approach, my business model. So by the time, obviously, I had a number of advisors I've been working with, a number of courses that I've been taking to I've been taking. But long story short, so obviously I then elaborated, came up with this model that we're running right now, which is obviously we have our awareness program. So as a multimedia. So we raising awareness about renewable energy in Africa, but also across the world. We helping businesses, right? But also any companies, to 10x the awareness about the product and services so that they can connect better to their target audience and also improve their sales perspective, right? And we'll do that through a range of activities, right? I mentioned some of them right now. So which is articles, webinars, workshop, podcast, and so on and so forth. And we actually group it into awareness program. And by the way, if some of you would want to find out about that, more about that, do let me know because I'll be more than happy to give you some information. In fact, maybe I can actually drop the link here what the awareness program is all about. So yeah, if you click on that link, you'll be able to see that. But that's essentially now the first thing that we came up with and that we're doing the awareness program. And the second thing, it's actually what we've been doing for a little while now, right? Which is we are helping businesses to tackle their high energy prices but also power outages by providing fully funded solar solution. And for that we work with a number of partners that are investors but also APC. So you're probably going to ask me the question, oh, that's sort of an odd fit, so how do you have it? First of all, this reflects well the way we want to run our business, because clearly for us, we want to preach, certainly it's important, but we just don't want to do that. We also want to be doing. Yeah. We're preaching and we're doing, right? And what we're preaching, we are doing. So that's how we see that. And we connect the two. And because we have that, it allowed us to develop a business model whereby we have an income stream that is a lot more regular. That will be obviously our awareness program, and one that could be a little bit longer, right, in terms of the lead time, right? So, and those are the two that we have it right now, and we're happy and we move ahead. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because if you are new into the industry, if you're thinking about setting up a business in the industry, so that's how you need to be looking at it. So first of all, you need to decide: are you a charity or are you a business? If you're in a business, you want to generate revenue. If you want to generate revenue, so what is that do you have or you do has value for people and people are ready to buy it. I've always said as a business owner, one of the most difficult equations to solve is the equation of transfer of money, right? Taking money from your pocket into from your customer pocket into your pocket, right? Because I'm sure when you launch your business, you will have lots of people that are going to say, "Oh, that's great, that's fabulous, superb. Oh, I'm so proud of you." That's great, right? But it doesn't pay the bill. It doesn't pay the bill. And if you're an entrepreneur, you know that very well, right? And I definitely want to insist on that. It doesn't pay the bill. So you need to always keep that practical side. Yeah. So how do you come up with something that is deemed as valuable for the customer? And the real customer is the one who pretty much almost doesn't care about you, but can see that what you have is valuable for him or for her, and is willing to part away with his wealth and give it to you, right? So what that is the equation that you need to be solving. And that's what I'm actually sharing that. And I'm also sharing that because I know pretty much that in the renewable energy space, right, it's not an easy space to be, especially if you work on the African continent, right? It's not an easy space to be in, but you need to have this kind of mentality and to go forward. And as I'm speaking to you, yes, so we are a business, so we have a product we believe that works and that we're growing, but there is a lot more that we are actually looking to do and we are doing. But at least I wanted to share this feedback. At least if there's a lot of you out there looking to emulate what we have done, want to be doing the same thing, at least you have a couple of ideas, right? And how we did it. And this is what exactly I wanted to share with you today. So yeah, probably gonna stop there and see if there is any questions, and then let's look at that in a couple of seconds. Okay, now back. This is how my business is. I'm not sure whether we have to know that. entry door for everybody. So yeah, so that's what I want to say. So I don't see any specific questions. So I'm imagining everybody is content of what they heard, or maybe they're gonna, like as usual, drop a question just I'm about to leave, or maybe afterward. In any case, guys, I absolutely wanted to at least share this experience with you so that you know what it takes to make a business actually that works. Right? I've shared some of the challenges. I'm hoping that it's gonna inspire you and you're gonna end up not making the same mistake that I've done, learn from it, and develop something even bigger and better. Guys, so that's where I'm stopping. Yeah. So I wish you a good day, and then as I say sometime, guys. So may the sun be with you guys. So see you on Sunday. Get better.